Revenge films.
My husband and I were both working, and a few days earlier, I had gone away on a business trip. In the beginning, I was told that it would take about 1 week until we could finalize the contract, but we were able to secure the deal faster than expected, and I was able to head home on an earlier train. My husband's birthday was right in the middle of my business trip, and since we didn't have any children yet, I made a big deal of our birthdays. I was excited to surprise him and come home early to celebrate his birthday. When I got off the train, I went straight to the bakery to buy a cake, and I picked up a nice bottle of wine before heading home. Will he be surprised? The more I thought about it, the more I couldn't help but smile. But little did I know that when I got home, my world would come crashing down. When I got home and tried to unlock the door, I found that the front door was already opened. That's weird. As I opened the door and went inside the house, I saw a woman's shoes that I had never seen before. Do we have a guest over? I went to look in the living room first, and there I found wine and appetizers, as well as half-eaten birthday cake and other homemade food. What is this? Right as I was trying to figure it out, I heard a voice inside the house. I turned to the voice and went slowly towards it, and I realized that it was coming from the bathroom. The door was closed, and when I put my ear against it and listened close, it was obvious that they were right in the middle of an act, and the woman's distasteful sounds were echoing in the shower. Then I realized that I had heard that voice before, and as soon as I heard my husband's voice, I lost it. As the anger was boiling inside me, I went to the area just outside the shower and slowly opened the door, extending my arm out to put their clothes out. Then I closed the door again and moved a large pole to block the door so that it couldn't be opened. As the two of them were fully enjoying themselves inside, I'm sure they had no idea of what I was up to outside. I took deep breaths as it took everything in me to remain calm and not explode, and made a few phone calls to certain people to come over. The first one was to my in-laws by showing them the scene of the crime in real time. It would put me in a better position for the future conversations. The other phone call was to my colleague and the fiancé of the woman who was enjoying my husband in the bathroom, Thomas. Luckily, I was able to get a hold of both groups immediately, and it didn't take long for me to explain the situation to them and having them head over. My in-laws were in shock to hearing what I was saying. You're joking, right? Are you serious? It sounded like they didn't believe me at all, so I needed them to see for themselves. I'm very sorry to tell you that this isn't a joke. I have the scene under lock right now, so the two of them won't be able to escape. Would you please be able to come here and see? My father-in-law quickly responded.
All right, we'll be right there.
When I called my colleagues, Thomas,
Karen is?
He was surprised, but the more we talked, she said that recently she had been acting suspicious, but he didn't have any proof and didn't know who the other person might be.
Can't believe it was your husband, though.
Thomas, Karen, and I worked at the same company, and my husband worked at a company that was one of our partners. That's why he knows both Thomas and Karen. As I was gathering the troops, I heard the bathroom door shaking, and from the inside,
Hey, the door isn't opening. What's going on?
What do you mean? You're right. It won't open.
I could hear the two of them inside struggling with the door. That's when I chimed in. I have it locked and blocked with a pole, so you should probably stop trying. I could hear them gasp on the other side.
Karen? What are you doing here? I thought you were on a business trip.
Yes, I was, but we were wrapped up in the contract sooner than expected, so I was going to surprise you with a cake and your favorite bottle of wine. Never could have imagined that I would be welcomed home by your affair.
This is all a misunderstanding. It's just that our clothes got a little dirty and...
What kind of an excuse is that?
Miss Ashley, it's not what you think. We just got a little carried away or something, that's all.
Interesting, just got carried away, huh? You really think everyone is going to buy that?
Huh? What do you mean, everyone?
What are you talking about?
Well, I didn't think that I would be able to handle the situation all by myself, so your parents and Thomas are on their way now.
Stop with such cruel jokes.
That's right.
As the two are panicking on the other side of the doorbell rang in perfect timing. Oh, looks like they've arrived.
Stop! You're kidding, right?
It's just a joke that you called my parents, right?
I let the two of them out right at the moment, and they came face to face with my in-laws and Thomas.
My clothes! Give me my clothes!
Right? Where are my clothes?
Wow, looks like you lost in the moment and you forgot where you left your clothes, huh? By the way, your clothes are right there by your feet. The two of them quickly got dressed when they finally showed their faces in the living room.
What do you mean, a joke? I wish this was a joke! Aiming for the time when Ashley was away for work to have an affair! You scumbag!
Cheaters, I hate them more than anything in the world. The in-laws immediately fired at my Chad. As for the colleague Chad, his eyes were completely iced over.
I already had a feeling that you were cheating on me, but I can't believe you were the mistress to a married man, and your senior colleague's husband? You're the worst, truly.
Wait a minute, Thomas. I was sad and lonely. Please, forgive me.
Forgive you? You must be kidding. I'm breaking off the engagement immediately. We already booked the venue, so I will be collecting the cancellation fees and all additional costs and damage from you in full.
Wait, Thomas, I'm sorry. Please, forgive me. I was just having a little fun.
You were just having a little fun. You went after your senior colleague's husband. Even though she's always looking out for you at work, you're trash. Absolute trash. Do you have any idea how many times Ashley has covered for your mistakes? And this is how you thank her for it?
Thomas then turned around to me and hung his head low.
I'm truly so sorry about this. On my end, I'll explain everything to my parents as well as hers. And I'm sure they'll all agree to breaking off the engagement.
My husband was dumbfounded, and Karen kept calling out to Thomas's name, and she started crying. Although I honestly couldn't care less. Karen later was running back to Thomas and begged him to reconsider, but of course Thomas refused and moved forward to canceling the wedding and breaking off the engagement. Of course, Karen had to pay for the venue, as well as other damages caused by this. But it turns out that Karen's parents had built a 2-story house for her and Thomas to move into when they got married. That is, of course, with the understanding of Thomas's salary as the base. That as well went down the drain, and Karen's parents were furious.
A piece of crap like you isn't our daughter. You're nothing to us. Don't you dare show your face in front of us ever again. I don't care if you have to go into debt. You better pay everything yourself.
And they disowned her. News of the incident spread like wildfire around our company too.
Did you hear? She was engaged to Thomas, but she went behind her senior colleague's back and slept with her husband.
I can't believe it. After all that Ashley has done for her, how shameless can one be? Everywhere she went, people were talking about it, and within 1 month, she resigned from the company. My husband and I, of course, got a divorce. There was no way that I could continue living in an apartment that he was screwing around with Karen in, so I sued them for everything, including that. My father-in-law was furious too, but my mother-in-law was especially against cheating and was even more livid, and Chad was also disowned by his parents. After that, since my husband was working at a partner company and we worked very closely with them, everyone in the company found out that the reason for the divorce was because he had an affair with a young girl at our company, and his bosses were not happy. I later heard that he didn't last another 6 months at the company and ended up resigning. Karen had to go into so much debt in order to pay off all the settlements that she had to go into the dark nightlife to make ends meet, working both day and night jobs. My husband gained a reputation for his affair and wasn't able to find another job easily. When I heard that he moved into a tiny crap apartment and there's barely getting by, I don't feel bad for either of them, not at all. After walking into my husband having an affair in broad daylight on his birthday with my junior colleague, nonetheless, but my colleague Thomas was kind enough to think that as the married woman, it would have affected me harder, and he was really supportive.
Let's go for a drink.
He would invite me, or
Should we go get some food?
and he would buy me lunch. He was always trying to make me smile, and it really helped me keep me from feeling too depressed about it. As for Thomas, he had suspected for a while that something was going on, so he wasn't hurt by the end, and was actually trying to find out who his fiancée was cheating on him with. 1 year later, Thomas and I went from being colleagues to a couple. Everyone around us knew that we were both victims in an affair.
It looks like the sparks were flying when you were trying to put the fire out.
They would tease us for, but they were also happy for us. It started because we were laughing about being teased, and Thomas said,
Well then, we might as well go out already.
and that was when we made things official. But by that time, I had already fallen for him. And Thomas also didn't know how to tell me how he felt, and I later found out that he told his colleagues how lame his proposal was. I never could have imagined that the two of us who were cheated on would eventually end up together. But no matter how we got here, I think I finally found the right one.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.